Hi, I'm Caroline Nuremberg with MI Student Aid. Welcome to the Transfer Student Training session. The objective of this training is to gain a better understanding of students who have transferred in and out of your institution. This will provide the ability to monitor students who may have received aid at other institutions. Follow along as we navigate the MISSG system with analyst Ryan Clark.
All right, thank you, Caroline. I'm going to start today with the very basics of looking at a student record manually, and then we will cover how to read an information roster to identify transfer students to your institution. Before I start, I just want to mention that all student information you will see in this training is fake. The names and all associated data have been made up. Also, I'm logged in as an FA officer for our test school, so everything I see should be the same or very similar to what you see when you log in. All right, let me share my screen, and we're going to pull up our first student that we're going to take a look at here. All right, so this first ID number that I put in, you can see this message come up that says a record exists, but this student is not at our institution. This is the first indicator that this student would then need to be transferred to your institution for the semester. This can be done by either the student transferring through their student portal. You can contact our office, or you can utilize the bulk student transfer process if you have 6 or more students that need to be transferred. Now let's look at another student here that has already been transferred to our institution for the semester. So when I pull up this student, the first thing I see with their Michigan Achievement Award is that they attended elsewhere in that fall, and the award has already been paid for $1,250. As you can see, the remaining amount of the award has already been assigned to the spring semester, and that student now has $4,250 that we can certify for that spring semester. Our next example here is going to be a student. I'm going to pull up their Michigan Achievement Award. So this student also attended Mott Community College in the fall. You can see their status of their award is not paid due to not being enrolled. So Mott certified that student is not paid. The remaining award was all put into the spring semester, and so this student now has $5,500 available at our school. One other thing I want to point out on this screen here is down in this institution information. This student, as you can see, their current institution is with us at the test school, and then they were at Mott for the fall, winter, and then spring, summer, they're listed as our school. Now, it is common for students to transfer to the wrong or use the wrong semester when they're transferring through their student portal. So if you see this, you can always contact us and we can help fix that situation. Okay, let's look at one more student here. The student here was at Cleary University in the fall and then transferred to our school for the spring semester. Now, as you can see, their fall award still shows ready to certify for the full $2,000. That leaves the student with only up to $3,500 to be certified at our school for the spring. Now, until their fall award gets certified, we would only be able to certify up to that full amount. This is one reason why we've stressed in the past the need for the institutions to certify awards as quickly as possible. All right, let's now transition to the information roster for our test school, and I'm going to show you how to identify these scenarios as well as other transfer scenarios. This is our test school eligible student info roster for Michigan Achievement. I've already hidden some columns and other information on this just to clean it up and make it a little easier to read through this training. But I think the first thing we want to cover in order to be able to easily identify those students that are transfer students, let's first just quickly look at students that are not transfer students to your institution. So as you can see, we have a bunch of students right here with a fall payment status listed, as well as award amounts for the fall. These are students that were at our institution for the fall semester. If any student was a transfer student for the fall, their information is going to appear blank for the payment status, and their award amounts will always appear as 0, regardless of the amount of the award that the student received at the other institution. So let's look at one example of a student that was at our institution for the fall. So right here, you can see Mary Barnes. She received a payment of $2,750 at our school, And now you can see, though, her spring payment status is blank and there's no dollar awards there. That means Mary has already transferred away from our institution for that spring semester. So now let's look at an example of a student that has transferred to our institution for the spring. So if I come down here to line 13 and I look at Joan Beals, I can see the fall payment status is blank. There's $0 for the fall award, but she does have $27.50 that's ready to certify for the spring semester. Now, one thing to point out that's critical to look at with these students is whether or not they have a date of first payment. So you can see Joan here did receive a fall payment for the year 23-24. So that way I know that Joan already had an award that paid at an institution for the fall. So this $27.50 is truly the full amount of the award that she can receive. Our next example here, Kim. This was a student we looked at manually that was at Cleary University for the fall. As you can see, there's no date of first payment in this column. She has that full $3,500 like we saw in MySSG, but all of this is still blank for fall. So what that means is that's one way that we can know this student has an award that is either in a ready to certify or potentially a ready to pay status for the fall semester at a different school. Then lastly, we're going to look at Ron Powell here. You can see he also has not received a first payment yet for that fall semester. But Ron here has the full $5,500 available in the spring semester for our school. So that's one way that we can know that this student was certified as not paid or due to whatever reason at their other institution for the fall. And now we know he has the full amount of the $5,500 that can be received in the spring. All right, I hope these examples will help you in identifying transfer students within the MySSG system and provide some clarification on how to interpret the information roster to make it work for you. Thank you for your time.